Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And today guys, I'll be explaining to you all exactly what is going on with the Ripple v SEC lawsuit and why Monday is going to be an extremely important day. And of course, I'll be covering exactly what is about to happen on Monday as well. I've told you all you should be subscribed, but I'm going to tell you guys again, make sure you are subscribed for all the news that is about to be dropped, as the next couple of days will be detrimental for the future of crypto. Having said that, my plan for this video is to quickly build a basis for what the Ripple lawsuit is, then specifically go over into this William Hinman deposition, and then transition into why Monday specifically has such a high impact on the future of cryptocurrency as a whole, and not only Ripple. Alright, so to start off really briefly here, the lawsuit which we are referring to is a lawsuit between Ripple and the United States SEC. And this lawsuit is basically about whether or not XRP is a security. Now, we've advanced in that lawsuit for a very long while. Hopefully, you've been a frequent watcher of the channel and you know that Ripple is looking pretty damn good in this entire debacle. And right now, one development that was scheduled was a meeting for Ripple to question one of the SEC ex-officials called Mr. William Hinman. And the reason he is so important is because he gave a speech surrounding the status of Ethereum, ICOs, a little bit about Bitcoin in 2018 that a lot of other individuals like Jay Clayton later on referenced to when talking about crypto regulation or talking about anything crypto related. And Jay Clayton, you guys most likely all know as the head of the SEC, the person who basically sued Ripple. Now, the question being brought up right now is, was he biased when making this statement? Did the statement, again, the speech from 2008, have any relevance, and yada, yada, yada. And another key point that you should know before we continue on further is that Ripple had a defense. And that defense was called the fair notice defense. The SEC, however, did not like it so much because it basically alleges that the SEC didn't really give them a fair notice, a heads up front, or told the market that XRP was dangerous. And a key example is that is a exchange that asked the SEC in 2019 or 2020 if they could list XRP. The SEC didn't really say no. And now all of a sudden next year they're going at it really hard. They should have warned these exchanges. They should have warned the people, yet they didn't. And that's one of Ripple's main defenses. Another part in that comes that the SEC alleges in one of their, basically, let's call it offenses, that Ripple's founder and Ripple CEO are doing all of this deliberately. They should have basically known, and you know, it basically comes down to a morale question. Like the Ripple side of things, they should have known what they were doing. They should have known they were wrong, and they should have known that they were basically selling securities. Well, okay, so that's a little bit of a baseline. Hopefully now understand. So the William Hinman deposition is scheduled, or at least was scheduled, for this Monday. Now, a letter just came out, and James Phelan also posted this, that has been postponed. And I made a video yesterday explaining why that's not a bad idea, because we had a hearing a couple of days ago. It's actually 2 days ago right now. Exactly 2 days ago to the dot, literally precisely 48 hours ago. It's like 9 o'clock to the dot for me right now. And in that little hearing, it was basically a question of, can he be deposed? Will he be allowed to? They didn't actually cover the privilege issues, which we'll get to in just a second, which are mostly detrimental for this entire situation. Hinman deposition postponed to July 27th. The parties have made substantial progress in narrowing and resolving the privilege issues and will continue to confer. Parties will report to the court on their progress on Monday by 5 p.m. And so, update for all of you guys. Well, this Friday, so basically yesterday, they were supposed to, I'm going to put that sound off again, supposed to give out a document, which they did, on whether or not they were basically denying or did not want to go through the process of deposing William Hinman on Monday. So once more, the schedule at first was to depose him on Monday, and the SEC was like, well, we might want to oblige. Ripple's side was like, well, we might want to blah, 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 because the judge would not allow for William Hinman to depose twice. Yet the main issue at hand is what exactly Ripple can ask him, because a key part of it is privileged, which again you can see here, and that is also what the judge told them to kind of resolve. And so over the next couple of days, Ripple and the SEC will be trying to resolve these issues regarding privilege. And if you don't understand what privilege is or why it really matters right here, is because the privilege argument is key to every single thing. Privilege in this specific side shows whether or not William Hinman actually has to answer and can even be questioned about what he said in a specific speech a couple of years ago. Mind you, he was an SEC official at the time, and the judge agreed he was a high-ranking official. Any of those words that he made public, to some degree, are protected. And as it currently stands, Ripple has a lot of benefit from asking him about some different pieces of his speech. Yet the SEC said, well, you can ask him, but we will actually literally deny every single question, so we will not make him answer them, because that's privileged. And this Monday, as they basically said here, we made a lot of progress. They're going to have to give their update on what SEC side finds privileged and what Ripple does not find privileged and all of that, basically, if they get to a conclusion or if the judge has to intervene and set some parameters, as that's what the judge said a couple of days ago. She said, if you can't get out of this one, the two of you, the two parties, now that they are conferring and meeting with each other, come to me, I'll give you some parameters, and I'll rule on it, basically. She will not rule on a question-per-question basis, but she will give some parameters as to what is and what isn't allowed. And that is exactly what we're going to be hearing this Monday. Where Ripple and where the SEC stand in front of the July 27th deposition. Because this has been scheduled 1 week later, from July 19th, because the judge basically recommended them to do so, because if it were to be a Monday, they couldn't most likely figure out the entire privilege issue within just 1, 2, 3 days. No. 1 week now is perfect for them to resolve any issues and for the judge to rule, because over the next week, what we could be seeing is Monday, Ripple posts a letter saying, hey, we did not come to a good conclusion and we want to question William Hinman about the speech. The SEC then posting a letter, no, we do not allow this. We think it is privileged information. And then Ripple's going to put up a motion to question, sort of something along those lines. The SEC is going to put up a reply to that, explaining why they don't want it. And then Ripple's side can put up a reply again saying why they do want it. That also depends. Sometimes it's the SEC, for example, putting up a motion to deny it, then Ripple's side giving a reply, and then the SEC giving another reply back to it again. It's going to depend on which side starts. However, that does not really matter for the process. There's a good chance, however, that if these parties cannot agree on what Ripple can question Mr. Hinman for, that a lot of documents will be shared over the next couple of days in anticipation of this 27th of July deposition. And there's even a chance that there's going to be another lawsuit hearing between now and the 27th, where the judge just quickly has to come on the phone and explain exactly what she thinks should be discoverable and what not. A key part in all of this is also something which was said at the end of day before, hearing, which was basically that Ripple has been requesting the SEC side for information that they have, after 2 orders from the judge, still not given over. This can be a critical part to how the judge is going to determine her verdict, as it could literally be so that she is fed up and done with the SEC trying to hide every single piece of information. And as we've kind of gotten from the hearing a couple of days ago, is that she also wants Ripple to kind of question him about that speech, because I kind of think she's also curious about what the stance of Ethereum/crypto is. And that is the key part. What is the stance of Ethereum? What exactly is the stance of Ethereum is a question you might ask. Well, as it currently stands, we all thought that Bitcoin and Ethereum were properly regulated, which means that they had a verdict from within the SEC, let's say 26 pages or 26 rules, I should say, on why those two cryptos were fine and safe. Yet Mr. Hinman actually claimed just now that that's not been the case, and that there's never been an official declaration of Ethereum being safe. And so, as it currently stands, Ripple cannot question Mr. Hinman about whether or not Ethereum is safe right now, whether what he said in his speech had any relevance to the real world, and whether or not he said it out of himself or out of the name of the SEC. But logically speaking, it'll matter a great deal if he said it because he thought so, or said it because he discussed it with the SEC. And another couple of parts is that Ripple wants to ask him whether or not he met prior and what he discussed prior with the Ethereum Foundation and also afterwards, but also if he was biased by them and if the market basically requested him to talk about this, because if the market requested Mr. Hinman to put up such a letter, and if he thought it was because it might help confusion in the markets, then Mr. Hinman basically gave an expectation of what people should know about crypto. If he gave this speech in anticipation, so that people could kind of look at it and be like, oh, okay, so those ones are safe, those ones aren't, okay, I get it. Then he's basically given the market a reasonable expectation of events. Even though he later on went to clarify it should only be his opinion and holds no real grounds in the SEC nor in real world. He did also admit that it has been discussed and even previewed basically by the SEC to approve it. So everything kind of reeks here, everything kind of stings. But what we want to know is Ethereum now a officially regulated crypto or not? Was he biased to make this decision? And what the actual F is going on with him trying to manipulate the market in some way, shape, or form by giving out this info? Yet again, then saying that he didn't actually give out any info that was relevant, just his own opinion. But also the price pretty much pumped just afterwards. And so if he didn't want to do anything, just give his opinion, knowing the price was going to go up afterwards. I want to also know a little bit more about the entire situation, like why and what. And from the same perspective, I think the judge is also in on that, knowing, yeah, the SEC side and William Hinman have said they have no records of XRP specifically, but if they gave some perception of the market to the people, and yet they've never really given a certain final verdict on Ethereum, then how could Ripple, for example, have known? If even Ethereum and Bitcoin aren't properly regulated, then XRP should have also known based on what? Based on nothing, right? Because how could they have ever known if the SEC never gave any guidance? And then again, from a different perspective, there's a lot of benefits to Ripple just finding out this information. It'll be key to the Ripple v. SEC lawsuit, but also more key because it might turn out that no crypto ever has actually been safe in the United States, and that all these Ethereum supporters, all these guys, can actually see their coin delisted pretty shortly. Yes, guys, I'm not making a joke. Ethereum and potentially even Bitcoin, which would be a really awkward lawsuit because who are you going to sue? The Bitcoin Foundation? I mean, even the Ethereum Foundation is headed in Zurich, so that's going to be a difficult lawsuit to go for anyway, but that's why I also think they went for Ripple, because that's in the United States, and the majority of the crypto projects are outside the US. Yet, that's basically a lawsuit which could follow, right? A lawsuit against Ethereum, because if it's not a properly regulated crypto, and it had an ICO in 2014, why would that coin not be next? Unless we're going to say, well, it's been sufficiently decentralized now. But then again, then Ripple also has no bearing here because the whole lawsuit here is actually only for Ripple's sales of XRP until the lawsuit moment, not for afterwards. But they're still selling now. So then the lawsuit is going to change itself. I think the point being here, it's going to be extremely important what's about to happen over the next couple of days. Extremely important to the future of crypto because if it turns out to be that Ethereum isn't safe, then, well, XRP can be the first properly regulated crypto. And also from a different perspective, oh my days, right? Could it come out that there's some big fraud in this situation right now? So John Dean also had a couple of things to say about that. But before we head over into that, make sure you check out the Bybit competition, guys. There's 30,000 XRP in total to be won. Right now, we are almost at 6,000 XRP to be given away over a couple of people. And how you register is just you make an account with a link down below. It's an exchange. It's not a strange platform. It's something I use. It's something all the big YouTubers use. Don't think about it in a strange fashion. It's not a strange platform like that. It's just an exchange like Binance or whatever. Just an exchange, a crypto exchange. However, it's more of a leverage exchange, so you can trade with derivatives basically with margin. So you can trade with more money than you actually have. You guys know how it works, right? Now you just make an account, you register, you put 300 XRP in it because you have to have some sort of balance to be eligible, and you change that over from your spot account to your derivatives account. There's a couple of clicks, but you can find it out how that works. And then for the competition to enter, you need to trade for at least $100 worth of XRP. So you need to make a couple of trades, maybe one, maybe a couple. And the winners, which are going to be 10 people, are again basically going to be winning this. It depends on how many people we get into the competition, basically. But at maximum, 30,000 XRP in total, and this is the distribution of what they're going to be winning. And it could literally be that one guy with 300 XRP comes in, makes one trade, gets a little bit lucky, and wins himself 7,500 XRP. It could literally be so. And there's a good chance that one person that's going to be number 1, 2, or 3, just a high-ranking guy, is just going to be completely lucky with no idea about trading at all, just tried something out. But yeah, it's worth it, guys. And again, if you're wondering why I'm talking about this, you can see it from this perspective. Working with an exchange has always got benefits, right? In this specific case, it has no benefits for me, but it is a cool thing for the community. And so you should basically see it as me trying to arrange a big giveaway for you guys, 30,000 XRP worth. But then again, it's also not exactly a giveaway because it's a competition, right? But it's the way you see it. I mean, it's free money anyway. It doesn't really cost too much. So one reason of many why the Hinman deposition is a big deal. Excerpt of the Hinman speech. Quote, and putting aside the fundraising that accompanied the creation of Ether, based on my understanding of the present state of Ether, the Ether network and its decentralized structure, current offers and sales of Ether are not securities transactions. End quote. Hinman met with a founder of Ethereum 1 week before the speech and again right afterwards. 1. Putting aside the fundraising is a big aside. 2. What did the founder say that helped form his understanding? 3. Ripple's lawyers will have to walk him through his understanding of decentralization. 4. Have him admit he communicated his understanding to market participants, which created the standard within the market. This point is the one we actually kind of stressed upon right now. His speech gave people like oh, okay, so that is safe. Oh, okay, so that's what it were. Well, in hindsight, Ethereum was never safe, yet he gave that impression. And then 5, showed that XRP's decentralization meets the understanding. And 6, use Hinman's deposition testimony in support of Ripple's motion for summary judgment. Again, let's come back to point number 4, though. Let's quickly come back to it. I want to quickly stress it once more, guys. Because any way you try to push this, it all comes to the same conclusion. He had a speech, the key speech of the decade regarding crypto, that the SEC pre-approved before he gave it, and that he discussed with the SEC members, that they knew was going to give the market some sort of satisfaction because he gave his understanding that the SEC agreed with, and he's an SEC official, of Ethereum, calling it basically safe. It is logical that that would give the market some sort of impression that it's safe, right? If he explains why he thinks Ethereum is safe and the SEC gave the thumbs up on that speech, saying, hey, that's what we also think, that's what we find good. Logically, that's going to do something, all right? And I haven't even discussed how the Bitcoin, Ether, and XRP discovery will help, or how Hester Pierce's interview and statements will help, and if XRP holders get to participate, but XRP is looking to be winning. I'm pretty excited about XRP, guys. Note, the deposition being postponed is not necessarily, or even at all, a bad thing for Ripple. It'll allow them to have a better view of what they are allowed to question him on. The judge recommended this extra week mostly for Ripple's convenience, and because, once more, what Ripple basically, this is what the SEC alleged. What the SEC alleged Ripple was going to do was question William Hinman once, then fight over what exactly is privilege and what exactly is not, and then question him a second time. The judge said, no, we're not going to do that. The Ripple side said, no, we don't want to do that. And the SEC side said, no, we really don't want that to be done. So right now, they have to figure out a privilege issue first before filing the deposition itself, or doing that. And I can literally not wait to see the defense the SEC is going to throw up this Monday. Because, no, guys, the whole postponing thing is about the deposition itself. But the question and the defense are going to be going on Monday. Monday will be the most important part of it. The deposition itself, I don't think we're going to actually see until a couple months later, right? I'm not sure we can actually see the deposition itself, but we can see the defense that the SEC is going to throw up most likely. They will try to stop Ripple from getting any info out of Hinman, and even one thing we kept discussing over on Twitter is whether or not Hinman can actually plead the fifth and not say anything. But our conclusion was that if he does that, though, it will be kind of odd. It will be really kind of odd. And then once more, guys, it's been already kind of beautiful that the judge actually said, you know what, you can depose him. She actually did this on a unique basis because she acknowledged how unique the Ripple v. SEC lawsuit is and how important it is to quickly clear up the entire confusion regarding the speech of Mr. William Hinman. She knows that if Ripple only wanted to question William Hinman about who he spoke with and who he spoke after and prior, she wouldn't have allowed it. But because they are asking about the speech itself and the contents of that, she allowed it, which to me is also a little bit more extra pressure on the SEC side of saying, hey, you know, the judge saying, hey, I want to know about it too. And I want to, you know, make Ripple have a good idea of what exactly is going on right there. And if he gave an expectation to the market, basically. But yeah, we'll see how this privilege issue fixes itself over the next couple of days. I'm extremely excited to get more info out of this. And let me know if you guys are too in the comment section down below. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. More news coming out on Monday. And I post videos every single day. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. And see you guys again in another one later today.